But we don't have to go there. There was some things that happened, but West is Major ended kind of in like a ruckus, we'll call it. But I wasn't there. I was long gone. I was at some girl's house doing my thing. I wasn't even there to see it. But we had 3 successful West is Majors. They went really well, and then Bourbon never did a rap show again. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Nah, I mean, it's just, look, it's just something that people don't know is that that's a real thing that happens in this city. Is that venues will like just fucking yo, the West Island banned hip hop for 5 years while I got into the game in 2012. Like during that period, it got banned for like 5 years. No hip hop was allowed in the West Island.
Well, we were doing shows.
Like, I mean, but that's Hodges' show. The whatever, I think it was like when the ban got lifted or something. Like it was something big. It was like I remember reading headlines about it or something.
I gotta tread carefully here, but Pioneer was another venue that we ended. Pioneer got really weird with us and started talking about all kinds of stuff, and we did like 4 or 5 shows at the Pioneer until we had to call them and tell them who our roster was, and then they would call the police and tell the police who the roster was. And that's when we stopped working with them. And they lost their liquor license like soon after. So it was like, even though Hodges and I meant well, like that second one, that was the end of the Pioneer. And I remember Hodges having to go on the air and like clear his name, and kind of like there was some ministers that got involved, and there was like some race cards pulled. There was some ugly things that happened there. But Pioneer didn't play fair, and neither did the police. And that was another venue. And then Scratch was the last one where we were like, we can't like keep shutting down venues. It's not a good look. Rico Blocks performed at one of the Scratch ones. I remember Mr. Bits and Dutch showing up. And then we moved to Dorval, and that's where you came in.
So I really like the way that you delicately touched on that, because there is a systemic issue of attacks on hip hop culture in this city from that level. Like serious amounts of shit that goes on. So I understand you're not able to go into details, and I don't want to be DJ Vlad. I do want to say that it is cool that you brought it up, and it needs to be kind of something people need to look into. You can go Google and read news articles on this shit. It's fun. I think Musique recently is a recent example of a place that just banned hip hop shit within the last 5-6 years.
It's gross.
So like that's why I'm glad that you said it.
It's gross and it's racist.
Because it is it's exactly that. Anyway. So it needs to be talked about more than it needs to delve into the details of it. But like what you said, bars collaborating with police officers to vet rappers to find out who the fuck, like that is nuts.
And then making up stories why we can't perform.
That's serious.
Making up stories, things that don't even exist, just so that there's like a thing now.
But even to that end, that explains possibly a little bit why it's hard to find a venue that'll host a rap show these days, because there's a reputation.
Because we burnt them all.
Dude, it's not even like, look, whatever might have happened, like the venue could have easily chosen to not prejudice against the entire genre.
It seems like the venues are open up until a certain point. And I like the Dorval bar because, shout out to Dave Ritchie, he ran that thing, and he honestly gave us free reign because he knew that we would never fuck around. He knew that we weren't there to cause any shit, and anytime we did, or there was shit, we held. I mean, Chris, the bouncer, took care of shit. Whenever there was a problem, like, he would grab the guy and throw him out of the fucking place, and that was the end of it. Like, we had a venue that I was comfortable in, and we did probably 100 shows there. Once we found our spot, and, like, it wasn't West is Major with every hood in the city and 300 people in the parking lot, and it was just our, like, 45, 50 people, like, we prospered. We had a great time. The last 20, 30 shows, I remember Hodges and I saying, like, we don't even take money anymore. We just give the money to SRH to fund his rap career. Like, it's not even about us. It's like, let's make whatever we can and give it to Ben, and Ben does something with it. Like, reinvest in the business.